Hey everyone, welcome back to Riffs Across Generation. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm here with my co-host, as always,
Eli.
And we are joined today by a gentleman by the name of Dean Corpse. He's the vocalist for a Florida death horror gore band, MRSA. Is that how you describe yourself, Dean?
Yep.
Nice.
Horror, death, gore, fun stuff.
Nice.
All the kids will love it.
So the name MRSA, we're going to start with that right out of the gate. It's a contagious antibiotic-resistant staph infection. Where did that name come from? How did it stick? How cool is that, I guess?
Well, it's pretty beautiful to watch the disease take place. Makes the skin nice and soft so you can stick your finger in it, then lick the pus right off of it. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And the band came up with it before I got in the band. That's when they sucked.
Right.
Then they resurrected me with some satanic ritual, and then I was like, all right, cool. I'll sing for you guys and I won't kill you. And that's how it went.
Yeah,
And,
we're reading a little bit about that, and yeah, in your bio, there's a satanic ritual, and they called you up, and Satan put you here.
Satan is real, believe it or not. I'm proof.
Nice.
Are all of your songs like based off of different horror movies?
So far, yes. Everything is based off of horror films. We're going to try and keep it going like that for as long as we go. There's so many. There's such a plethora of horror films out there that most people don't even know about. It was a band back in the day that actually were open up for on October 3rd, Mortician, that I used to listen to. And they played a lot of songs and all the little clips and stuff like that before the song would be all these horror films. Like, oh man, that sounds interesting. So
Yeah.
it got me into those horror films. So hopefully the newer generation will listen to our songs and be like, oh, well, I want to see what that movie's about, type of thing. So
Yeah, very cool.
I want to continue doing it.
Yeah, I definitely want to dive into the horror aspect and the stage show and that in a little bit. But I want to make sure so we don't get off track. I want to talk about the music, 'cause that's what people hear on Spotify and streaming. We call it death metal with a very blunt force. You guys just come out and it's like boom, 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 hit you over the head. Straightforward death metal, angry. How would you describe it in your writing style behind it and what goes into it?
I'm a big fan of hooks and melody and anything that's going to stay with you. There's so many bands out there right now that I couldn't decipher one song from another. You just listen to it and it just sounds like a wave of just noise. I would rather be a wave of mutilation, if anybody knows that reference. But my thing is I just want people to listen to our songs and be hooky. I'm a big Deicide fan. And we all know that Deicide, my vocal approach is more like Glenn Ben's approach. So I like things that are just going to stand out in your ears. And I want you humming your song or, remembering that one part of that one song that you can just walk out later on and go, dude, I remember that. I remember this part. I remember that part. And I am, like I said, hooks is where it's all about. And that's how I take my approach to music and writing lyrics or writing a song.
Yeah, you guys have a new song called Into Pieces, and I think that sums up what you were just saying. That hook where the tempo changes, and then it's a sing-along part for a death metal band. I mean, that's spot on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
I try my best, but I do mean it. I do want to kill you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Are you expecting a lot of people to be singing along to that part when you guys play it out? I mean, it's so catchy. We were talking about it like just a little while ago on the podcast, and how it's just an earworm in the death metal world. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you can do it, you can do it. And I want everybody to sing along to it. I actually, it'd be really great. I mean, once the song's like really out there and everybody kind of knows it, I want everybody to just go along with it. We have another song on the album called Mortuary, which is another song that I will hopefully will catch on as a sing along as well. Get the whole crowd participation. Gonna get that European crowd mentality in your head. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want to be the Iron Maiden of death metal.
Does the music or I guess the lyrics come first when writing a song?
Say the music definitely comes first, but I have my band don't necessarily like this when I do this, but I have them. I'll come up with the chorus, like the actual, like the whole entire pattern, vocal patterns, and then I'll write around the vocal patterns to, that's how I get the hooks. If the hook comes into my head, I'm like, I think this will be awesome if we could do this. And I'll show it to them. They're like, I don't know. And I'll be like, well, I'll write it then, and I'll make the part, and then, and it just kind of goes from there. But mostly the music comes first.
Yeah. Do the song title, I guess the song titles come along with the lyrics after the music's written as well? Like what?
Yeah, song titles will come afterwards. Some songs will just speak to me, like off the new album, we have a song called The Incantation of Charles Lee Ray, which is about Chucky and Child's Play and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, that song immediately, as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, this song's about it's gonna be the Child's Play song, because I heard a part in it. I was like, a Dewey Dem, a day Dewey Dembella, give me the power, I beg of you. So I was like, that's got to be the Chucky part. The only song we ever wrote that was really quick, like even the lyrics, it just came out of like nowhere, was Mortuary. Mortuary. I even had the lyrics all down. I knew right away it was going to be about Phantasm.
Right. And you guys do some pretty cool videos for your songs too. I mean, that may be, I know a lot of bands, it's kind of making videos going through the motions, but I mean, every time I watch your Friday the 13th one, it cracks me up. It kills me.
It's a good one. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's a really good one. Yeah.
It's the one death that they should have had in a Friday 13th movie.
Yeah, it was a good
It
one.
would blow everybody's mind, or blow her mind.
So is there a certain thinking to how you approach your music videos, or I guess it's all horror movie theme based, but I mean you've got some good ones out there. So
Well,
this is me encouraging people to check you out not only on Spotify or wherever, but definitely go to YouTube and check out your videos.
yeah, if you haven't figured it out, I'm kind of a sick guy. I have a weird, crazy mentality about stuff. I direct all the videos, so I just kind of like I come up with a concept and figure out how it's gonna go. And it just kind of whatever leaks out of my brain, and weird ideas like the vomiting on the kid. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. We
Yeah.
originally, I'm actually kind of shocked we didn't do this, but the original idea that we were going to go for, that my editor was working on, and it was more his idea actually. I puked on the kid, and we wanted to do a lot more blood and stuff like that, so we put more blood on it. But he came up with the concept of me puking on the kid, and then it being acid vomit and melting the kid's face, and it looked pretty.
Nice.
I thought it looked pretty cool. So, but it would have meant I killed the kid, and I was like, I don't know about that. I mean, adults are cool, but kids, we got to stay away from that.
Yeah, and kids don't normally die in horror movies, right? You don't
No,
see
they
many.
normally don't, but
Yeah.
sometimes when they do, it's kind of cool. It's like, oh, that makes that guy pretty evil.
Yeah. Eli, you're not always safe.
No, not anymore.
So you guys did get noticed. Thankfully, you inked a record deal, and your album's going to be out. It's called Horrifier, right? It's going to be out
Yep.
September, like this month.
Yeah, September 23rd.
Nice.
You
Can
can
tell
get
us?
early copies live now. We got a couple early copies, and we're selling them at the shows.
Yeah.
So
So
we will have copies at the this Tampa Death Fest next weekend.
very cool. Yeah, we'll definitely be picking that up.
Yeah. We're very excited to hear MRSA soon. We've seen you guys before. Let's talk about your live show. You have a bag of body parts, horror characters, chainsaws, bloods, guts. I guess the question is, am I missing anything?
Yeah, you're missing the big giant 8-foot pumpkin head that comes out.
We have that pumpkin head in our TikTok video with you guys playing. He's roaming
Oh,
in the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crowd. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he's a sour fellow. Gets a little soft sometimes. But we have a couple newer things that are definitely gonna start popping out when you guys. I'm not gonna spoil a surprise if you haven't seen it yet. But we got a couple little things that come out now, and we're just adding more. We got more and more. We're gonna keep on doing more.
Yeah. Are there lots of I mean, if you go to a MRSA show, you expect to get covered in stuff or be part of the
You
show?
get covered in blood. It depends on the place that you get at. We play. Some places want it, some places don't. we can still do the show regardless. Even some places even make us not even play with fog, which I thought was a little weird.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, we're a little foggy on that whole entire subject.
Tell me about the masks and who or what are they tied to, or are they just the horror of MRSA?
Well, this is my mom. She was a very beautiful woman once, and I thought I'd keep her on me at all times. I feel like I'm back in the womb.
That's great. And all the members have different characters, different types of masks.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
all of them are wearing your
some of
mom.
them are their real faces. They just don't know. Especially Notorious P.I.G. Yeah, he's a hell of a hog.
That's great. Mercer's been playing out a ton. I've seen you guys like every weekend, weekdays. We saw you on a weekday last. And you played a lot of shows, and you touched on the Tampa Death Fest coming up soon and playing on that. Have you played the Tampa Death Fest before?
We have, I believe it was 2 years ago we played.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about, I guess, the Tampa Death Fest and how important you think like festivals like this are to a scene, whether it be the Tampa scene or a fest anywhere else. I think you've played some other fests in the country as well.
Yeah, we've done Milwaukee Metal Fest. That was our first real big fest. We did Slam Dakota, which was great. Who has they're back? No, Milwaukee was great actually. That was probably the most fun we had. Slam was really great. Les, who runs that, is a really great promoter. Takes care of the bands really good. Tampa Death Fest is also another fest that was really good. And I think Florida needs. I know there's a lot of a lot of people trying to do festivals all the time,
Yeah.
and they just get like 10 bands on or whatever on one day or whatever, and they keep on calling it fest. But a festival takes a long time to do and takes like a year of planning, and you get the bands all together.
Right.
And the way Tampa Death Fest is doing it, they're, just like Swarm Fest, they do it right. Yep, man, that was the one
Yeah.
we played too.
Yep. Yep.
What you call it? So they're doing such a great job, and then I see them getting bigger and bigger every year, getting better and better bands and stuff like that. Fests they're tough, man, and but I do think that we need them, especially here in Florida. Florida is kind of a weird state. Sometimes metal works, sometimes metal doesn't work, sometimes it sells, sometimes it doesn't sell. So hopefully we need to get with these kids, all these younger generation, and get them out to shows, get them turn them into metalheads, kick out the rap and put in the metal.
Yeah, I think that's something we definitely see in the Tampa scene. I mean, when Eli and I go to shows, Eli's always the youngest one there. Um, and we don't see, I guess, the next generation of death metal kids coming up in Florida. So a lot of the shows we go to are very old, like they're my age ish,
Mhm.
going to see the shows. So we're concerned about that. So I mean, that's one of the reasons we started the podcast. We wanted to outreach, the younger crowd and the newer. So we bring on new bands and old bands. What do you think? As a promoter in the scene or promoters in any scene, what could they do, in your opinion, to reach that younger crowd?
Start having all ages shows.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's hard because there's limitations with the bars. Like the bars have to be like a certain distance between the stage and all that stuff. So for them to have all ages shows, it could be a little bit of a legality problem with it. So, then you got other places like we're playing late night with MRSA with the punk rock flea market over here on October 24th. And that's at this Tipsy Tiki or whatever it is, like an outside venue. And they can have all ages over there because they do
yeah,
all that punk rock stuff. But I think if you do all ages, because there's going to be a lot of kids, I believe, that really do dig what we do, or some
absolutely.
kids that have never seen Guar before, any kind of stuff like that, or it's seen anything like what we do ever before, and they would be enthralled by it. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
know they would.
yeah, yeah. We are kind of kicked out of going to shows in Orlando. Not kicked out, but they're all 18 and over, 21 and over up there.
Hmm.
So we're very thankful that most Tampa places like Brass Mug, the Orpheum, they're usually all ages.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, which is great. And then I guess we see the younger crowd. I mean, Slam has come on, and we see like the skate park shows and the VFW shows. They seem to pack with younger kids. But yeah, I hope in the future we start turning a corner here and we start getting a younger crowd to the Brass Mug and the Orpheum and places around Tampa.
Yeah, that's the trick too. It's like a lot of the slam shows are the where all the kids kind of want to go, but it's kind of like listening to the radio. You know what I mean? You're just if you're listening to the rock station, all you're gonna get is the rock, and that's all you know. Well, get out there and start listening to other bands
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
some kids I know will be like, "Well, we can't dance to that." It's like, well, you could dance to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can, you can do the time, what do they call that salsa, whatever the hell to if you want.
Yeah, and even if you can't, just I mean, I grew up loving Agnostic Front and Sick of It All and Warzone. I mean, that was my thing. But I also fell in love with, the early Deicides and Nasty Savages of the world, where I wasn't going there to punch somebody's face out. So yeah, little
Exactly.
little message to the kids: open up your ears a little bit.
You can get bloody in a whole different way.
Yeah, absolutely. What should we expect from MRSA on Saturday night?
Expect to get pregnant.
Nice.
Yes, we're gonna cover you with something, and God only knows what'll happen after that. It'll be a little friggin' mini corpses running all over the place.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll apologize to your mom after, Eli.
Yeah. Sorry, mom.
Okay, a couple more questions before we start to wrap this up a little bit. Which is better, supernatural horror movies or slasher movies?
Slasher.
Why?
Slashers, well, you can do supernatural slashers, which is more or less I would like the combination of it. I like that better because Freddy's probably my favorite slasher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Supernatural's kind of cool. Not a lot of them do it, but slashers are just cooler because it's just like you get a little bit more bloodier, a little more gorier, a little bit more tits, which is I like boobs.
Not so much anymore with modern ones, right? They cut all that out.
Yeah.
It seems it's
Why
like
is modern films dying? I don't know. No boobs. Put a couple boobs in that new Avengers movie that came out, and I guarantee it would have made $1 billion.
I think you're right. You're onto something.
I might be. I might be.
Are U.S. horror films or Italian horror films superior?
Ooh. Oh, God. Well, here's the thing. Italian horror films is it's very particular. I think some people like them, some people don't, and they definitely they're like a niche type of film. So I would have to go more with more American. If you really think about 90% of the classic horror films out there, they're all American. The films that you think of that are more Italian or your Dario Argentos or your Claudio's and your Lucio Fulcis and stuff like that. They're not really like, oh my God, these are like iconic. They are, but they're not. You know what I mean? They're no Freddy. They're no Leatherface. They're no Jason. Hell, they're not even Art the Clown. You know what I mean? At this point,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Art's he's got his own house at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah,
I'm proud of that guy.
it does seem that they failed to build horror characters. I mean, the U.S. horror movies are seems like they're the only ones who really built the characters out.
Well, the Giallo films were, especially back in those days, Giallo films were all just mystery movies, and they weren't really classified as horror films. They were more like mystery movies with the horror element, thrillers, I would say, more or less. Then you had like Dario Argento came out with like Suspiria, which had the supernatural element to it. It was pretty cool though. I do enjoy a lot of like Wax Mask. You ever seen that? That was
Yes,
pretty cool.
yes.
That was a really cool movie. Supposed to be directed by Lucio Fulci in it. He died before he can do it.
Who's the greatest horror villain?
Besides Freddy.
Oh man, it's just like greatest horror villain. Honestly, most people would say I think if you're gonna go old school, you would go with like Frankenstein. But Frankenstein's monster is not a villain; he's just a victim. But I would say the greatest horror villain is Freddy.
Yeah,
Freddy's the meanest, the nastiest of all it is, and also the most entertaining of all of them are.
yeah,
Leatherface is cool, but he changes in every movie, so you don't know which version you're gonna get. So the first movie's fantastic, and I think he's really good, but he's not. He's just a enforcer. Freddy is he's the mainstay. Most people will probably be like, oh, well, Michael Myers, but Michael Myers is kind of also different depending on the timeline of the film series,
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now they're doing all these weird timeline shit. And then you got, I could say shit on this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All
People have
right.
said much worse.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard he got butts last time.
Yeah, we had Autumn Lies Buried on, and they
Yeah.
no filters,
Good dude. Good dudes. Hairy butts though. Hairy
hairy
butts.
butts.
But Jason's pretty cool, but Jason also changes. So you don't
Yeah,
know. You
yeah,
don't know. I think Freddy is hands down has been played by one person. He solidified it pretty well.
yeah.
And he
Except for that newer Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Yeah, I almost choked when you said that one. Yeah. Yeah, that movie, we were discussing that film the other day and has its cool moments. Like the micro naps are cool. But the whole mystery trying to see if he was innocent or not doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And then they kind of went with the whole molestation route and stuff like that, which is implied in the original films, but you never really had to say it.
Yeah, you don't have to say it. Yeah,
And you just say he was just a child killer, which I thought was a little bit better. There's so much that can go along with that, but that leaves inside your brain. And then, once you make Freddy too filthy, he's just not fun anymore, and you can't get behind him, I
yeah.
guess, in a lot of ways.
You
And
can't
they're
root for him to kill people.
yeah, you can't be like, well, I want him to, because the whole point of a slash film is that you're supposed to kind of like the villain,
Yeah,
to a degree. You don't have to agree with what the villain's doing, but you got to kind of like him a little bit too. You know what I mean? But that movie, they did some cool stuff, but it was directed by Samuel Bayer, who directed the Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit video. He's good for videos. I
yeah,
wouldn't say he's good for movies. He has a visual flair that's pretty cool, but other than that, he doesn't know how to direct a human being to save his life.
yeah. Fair
So,
enough.
except for move over there, bang your head, do this, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, this was great. Before we say goodbye, let our listeners know how they can support MRSA.
Well, you can go online and follow us on Instagram at MRSA_the_band. You can go on Facebook, we're MRSA the band, or we have a link tree. It's got all our links on all those sites, and you go on Spotify, Apple, and all that stuff, and just buy, buy, buy. We should have our merch up on our website really soon. MRSA the band, MRSA band. We'll have the uncensored version of the new video we just released, where you get to see my penis. Be awesome. It's super super flabby. It's awesome. She cuts it off just to let everybody know, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and just whip it out,
Right. Got to be a
She
reason.
she grabs it for me. So, God, it all sounds terrible now. But yeah, no, but watch the video. It makes sense. You'll be like, hey, oh yeah.
Nice.
If you've seen the movie Pieces, you understand what happens at the end of the film. So, which is an Italian film. There you
Yeah.
go.
You made me put it on my watch list. It's on my watch list right
It's
now.
good. It's good. It's just like in the video. It comes out of left field. What happens, and you're just like, "What the hell just happened?" And the movie ends, and you're just like, "What? What the hell was that?" So I figured I'd throw it in the video. I thought it was pretty funny. So
Nice. Nice.
we always do everything kind of funny. It's tongue in cheek,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. So we'll have all the links to all your socials and to your record label and the date that it comes out. So if you're watching this, listen to this, just check out the notes that are attached. And thank you so much. We're really looking forward to Saturday night. We're
Hell
super
yeah, it's gonna be
excited.
fun. We'll party. We'll get
Very,
we'll get Eli drunk.
that's the on-running joke whenever we go to the Orpheum. I guess the guy's like, not today.
Just drench him in blood. Put
Nice.
alcohol in the blood.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Dean.
Don't tell your mom, kid.
She won't like that one.
2 times. Yeah. Cool. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you guys so much. See you guys Saturday.